Let's go. Hey, fuck yeah. Shameless plug, okay? Shameless. Fuck yeah. All right. I'm gonna have to. Hell. See, I am just not a Twitch guy. I don't use Twitch for anything. I don't even really use Amazon. So it's an out of the way subscription. Um, but I'm not super poor, so maybe I can just spare it, spare it. Okay. Oh, that'd be dope. Yeah, I mean, you'd be able to like that. Yeah, that'd be pretty sick. As long as I mean, like, I'm sure that there's some sort of what's the word I'm looking for? Uh, maybe consent, but like, I mean, you basically have all the content you could possibly need just from people doing the shit that they're gonna do anyways by playing the game, just by being under the OSG tag. Yeah, yeah. Well, I was gonna say, even like those like drunken ARAM nights, like as long as the tags are for mature and everything, because obviously we're pretty unedited on the nights like those, but like that's funny content, like that's good stuff.
Oh,
Woo!
no, cancel. I just need it to be that. There we go. Oh, no, I don't. Yeah, there we go. That's what we want.
All right, I will be back in just a couple minutes.
There we go. All right. So for anyone joining, we've got Avalanche. They're out practicing in Flex tonight, so we are going to spectate their games as they go through. So they just got into a game. We've got the good old spectator delay. So once they are up and rolling, we'll get in. Um, but
Okay, I didn't hear nothing you said. Give me just a minute. I will be right back.
oh, you're good. I was just talking to the stream.
Okay, my bad.
Alright, I wish it would show us what they picked here, but we just gotta sit and figure this out once we actually jump in the game. Oh well, it'll be alright. That's a very weird doorbell. You got that? Yeah. I don't see a car. That's strange. Oh. Alright, So we are 17 seconds away. We will jump in with these guys. And sorry, we're getting the kinks worked out. Been a little bit since we streamed, so still working on all the setup. And apologize for the dogs in the background. Think we're good there. All right, here we go. We are hopping in game. So we've got all right, so what Kayla's had the team working on, and it looks like we're gonna keep sticking with it, is we've been playing a lot of Senna paired with different melee ADCs.
Welcome
so,
to Summoner's Rift.
I don't call it ADC for this position, but farming. So it is fasting Senna. But then wanting some,
30 seconds until minions spawn.
There we go. And then we're having the tank engage, kind of come out of top lane. And then wanting some agency for the early game pressure out of jungle and mid. So, enemy team, they scale pretty well. Malzahar can be problematic for Matrix's matchup. I'm not quite sure how Malzahar and Akali go. Lilia will help chew away at the Tahm Kench and the Ornn though, but both teams have good amount of engage. So Tyson is really clean, so if they can just scale up and let the game come to them, should be able to outrage the Vayne team and kind of keep that fight on it. See how things go. Are you back, Mark? I don't know if this is stretched too far out. Might be able to come back in a little bit. My screen's really big, so I apologize if that is too far out. Nothing too exciting early. Lilia is clearing low pass. Looks like we got Twinkie with an invade on the blue buff. Should be out of there before Lilia is any the wiser. Like that play, I've been doing that myself, sneaking camps from the enemy jungler. In and out, go to chickens, be able to clear. Hunter will just need to watch top since Lilia won't have anything in his way of crashing and making no early attention. Be nice. Lilia's gonna come top, so Hunter, oh, he's going down, so he will run into her, but I don't think anything's gonna come up. But he didn't tell me, so he'll be able to walk it out through that wave. Not too much unnecessary damage. He'll be able to hang around. So the way this is going, top scuttle should go to the side, go to the enemy team. Kale should be able to pick up bottom scuttle. Questionable. Yeah, I guess they did hit level 3 first, so Ties should be able to get out of this. Yeah, walk that back. Unfortunate timing on that. Great by the enemy team with the level up to 3 to take care of that. They want to fight here. I think you can look mid for gank if you pop that Malzahar shield, because Lilia's going to go there. Sees the ward. Lilia's seen as well. Gonna come in. Bot looking aggressive. I don't know if this is enough to turn it with the bomb here. We're gonna have to go straight on the main. Okay. Nice trade about. This gonna have to be quick because they do have Lily down. I don't like this overextension. Yeah. I don't know the damage on this. Fight the Lily she's back up. He's gonna be back up on the Leona. That's a lot of minion damage we're taking. No shield up on the Malzahar. Oh, just misses the E. So about 800 gold lead, Gabe's still pretty close. I'm curious to see who prioritizes grubs this game.
Okay, I'm back.
What's up?
Oh, not a whole lot. Let's see.
You missed the action bot side. Vayne killed Ty, and then Kale did come down with the counter. They killed the Vayne, and then they kind of overstayed the fight a little bit. Lilia came down, and Lily and Leona cleaned up Xerxes.
See. Yeah, I gotta say, if Red Team just keeps it cool, keeps their composure, I mean, the scaling is pretty heads and shoulders in their favor.
Vayne could be a problem late, but they've got enough range, and I think enough ways to deal with her that she will die.
I mean, and plenty at stake. I mean, between Wukong and Ornn and Tahm Kench, there's only so much invisibility to go around.
Well, and the nice thing with Kench too is you can eat away one of those targets. Vayne may be going after two, so
Exactly.
just that extra protection. I do like the engage factor from our team better, just with the Ornn plus the Tahm Kench. There is that engage, you know, of course, coming off of the Leona, but I think we do have more engage, or the ability to, I guess, to make mistakes if we can.
Well, if there's one thing I do know about Kale and playing with him competitively for as long as I did, it's that he definitely enjoys a stable, well thought out, balanced team. He's not often going to go into a situation where his team is lopsided in any one way. He prefers to have some balance so that he has fail safes and contingencies throughout the throughout the game. With that being said, though, like you said, the Vayne plus the Mundo could end up being a problem. If Senna doesn't get off the ground, no one's really going to be getting through this Mundo. You know, given a miracle that Wukong and Nikali get really fed.
Yeah, I do like prioritizing the grubs here on the side of Avalanche, because with the Senna, you're going to have more pushing power. Those grubs will matter a lot, I think, in what you want to do. And that range, she's going to be able to trigger them off of towers a lot easier as the game goes along. And I think overall, especially in a world where you've got bombs across everybody, I think grubs are just more beneficial if you can pull them off in that first 5 minutes and give up that first dragon.
I definitely agree. I think that it'll really show the coordination, like you were talking about. If you can't really coordinate the damage on the turrets, then they're effectively worth nothing. So it'll definitely be up to Avalanche to make sure that they get hands on the turrets and actually put those Void Grubs to work. But I think that they've got the coordination to do so, plus the ease of access of the Senna.
A little concerned about that gank there. Where was his ult time there? I guess it wasn't quite back up yet, but they did have to worry about popping that bubble there. I also think different top laners make those grubs better. I've been playing a lot of solo duo in the game, and him having Trundle, I prioritize those grubs like no other, because if you can let him split push, there's also a world where you can maybe deprioritize those if you don't have the right call. The dragons may scale better for you. But the first dragon wasn't Ocean, so that's not a terrible first dragon to pick up. Versus if that was a Cloud.
Oh, we got caught shopping. Uh-oh. Oh, no.
That W does hit. This should be a kill here. He's got one up. Go in on on the main here. Can you pop her up? There we
Ooh.
go. That should be good now.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh wow, that was.
Oh wow.
On-
Okay.
On the side of Leona to keep Kale off of the vein.
Oh man. Wow, that was a nail biter. Yeah. I don't know. I can't help but feel like maybe Kale should have burned the flash to get in there on the vein a little bit sooner. I think that getting the CC on her before she goes invisible is the way to lock her down before she can heal flash.
And some of it too, because you know Kayla's filling in for me, right? Not being there and playing different champion pool. I think if you're Xerxes, you hold that chomp and maybe talk differently and let Kale do the engage and save that chomp and pick Vayne up off of the Wukong ultimate. Because that passive will stay around a little bit, right? And just communicating how to juggle that balance. Because you could then spit her back out and then let Kale knock her up before she goes to tower.
That's also very valid, yeah.
But again, those are things that it's easy to call when you're not pressing the buttons right here, but also this is not a champ combination we've had either in any of our practices before now. So you don't think about how you can balance those ultimates against what's in front of you.
And see, that's kind of why I put the onus on Twinkie. If you have the confidence to pick it, you gotta have the confidence to pull the trigger. And that's what his job is. I mean, he's got a Vayne and a Malzahar that are of immediate threat to his team, and those are pretty stationary people to a Wukong.
I will say I want to give Mason some credit here. Going into the Malzahar, there's only been, I'll call it 2 roams off of Malzahar, even though I guess it's not really another like strategy that we should have understood that was coming.
Yeah.
I'll have to go back and watch that one. I wasn't paying attention to that exact line Lilia was taking until it was too late, so I don't know if that should have been
well, and what I
through pathing or just known since the gank went bottom and there was nothing there to watch the overextension. But
and one thing that is super defined about top lane is that it's basically how you push your lane. So I bet we could go back 30 seconds or so and see the actual problem of what happened. But that's something that can be, looked at and fixed. So that's definitely not the biggest issue.
oh, I thought the kill went on Matrix. I thought the kill went on Matrix, so that's unfortunate. It went on. It's not unfortunate. We can use it, but that would have been nice to kind of springboard.
Yeah, definitely.
That hurts a little bit when he did make the run, but we should still be able to kill this.
Well, and on the plus side, I was actually really excited to be able to talk about it. Akali is feeling really good right now. All the movement speed from all of the AP items that have been added just feels so good on her to be able to navigate your way through fights. As well as Storm Surge, that item is just wow.
Right now.
It's something, man.
Well, and that was nice what just happened down there. That was
oh yeah.
good on their part. So getting them back into the game. With that, and now we're gonna have 6 scrubs. So pushing power will the team.
Well, and hopefully this will set up a easy transition into the next objective, whatever they decide to go for. Dragon is up, so it's an option, and it's looking like it might be a pretty tough time to fight, though. Blue team has completed a lot of first items, comparatively so.
I think you give up the dragon, you get the rift, and then you use the grubs you've gotten with the rift, right? You can knock down these towers if you, I think, sack the dragon. It'll take everybody because all towers will have 5 plates on them. But I think you can at least get one of those down and open up the map a little bit.
Ooh.
That was really nice.
Yeah. I mean, he does have teleport, so he does get to just reset this lane. However, Malzahar can do the same exact thing,
but
except...
if Malzahar overstays this, we have unleashed TPs now. He could hit that ward and just kill Malzahar. But
Yeah.
Lilia roams up to cover. That was a great roam up to Lilia to protect that. But I think I don't like this. He should have gone the TP behind.
Yeah, I don't
Does
think
get the
that the
finish.
Lilia
That was
actually
lucky.
stops.
If Malzahar hadn't taken out there, he doesn't get that TP off.
Wow.
Oh my, get him.
Okay, well,
Okay.
the situation turned around a little bit.
I mean, do we both agree that Ward's the right call there, though?
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely. Get in there and cause that mayhem immediately. Because like you said, it was sheer luck on the confidence of the Malzahar that he didn't get canceled there. But like I said, silver linings to the situation.
Yeah, and we don't rotate into an objective off of that either. He did have to. He is still sitting mid. I'd like to see us got everybody here to rotate up and drop that Harold. Okay. Should be able to translate this.
Oh, okay, all right.
Okay. We don't have a TP on a Kali, so we can do that. They have no tower to fall back to. Oh, that was really ultimate.
Oh man, yeah.
Oh my.
And I'm struggling to find the reasoning that the positioning is so aggressive. You know, you have pretty established battle lines at this point in time, and we have an unchecked lane, and that is just an oversight.
We go from positioning up over Rift Herald to giving up 2 towers, right? So not really,
And along that note, it's not even overwhelming vision around Rift Herald, just a vague idea. I would have much rather seen them migrated up towards Rift Herald, established a nice zone of control, and if Blue Team wanted to try the same exact thing, at least they had a Ornn that they could fall back to. That was clean, though. We like to see that.
It was a good shutdown, and it's where you want that gold to go. So I think that's a start. Now rotate everybody up top. I think there's nothing really to fight over bottom, but move that over here. I don't think Akali needs to roam though. I think you could have let Akali sit in lane.
Well, see, I do believe that the one of the strategies that they have at this point is that Malzahar can't match Matrix. There's no chance. So if they 1-3-1 and Ornn neutralizes the Mundo, is an unchecked lane of pressure, which should be something that they can exploit.
Zane's showing up as a problem here. I thought they were going to lock this out. Tongue goes off. Yeah. I don't know that. Are they all going to get out of this?
Ooh.
The margins are so slim there. Yeah.
Oh man. Well, that could have ended up being a lot worse than it was.
Yep.
That was definitely an overforce. I understand that they had the numbers advantage, but numbers advantage doesn't mean much to a positional advantage with vision, you know. And all they needed to do was give it another 15 seconds or so, actually establish your man control, get all your men there, and then move in for the vision for this Rift Trail, but now you have to forfeit.
Well, the other thing you have to think about is, right, their engage is wanting to knock up, and unless you're popping the Mundo passive and knocking the shield up from Malzahar, you have 2 members of their team who are still function perfectly if you're going to start engaging on them at first, right? And I don't think Kale went in. There wasn't a lot of disruption from that first one. So I think that's something that we need to communicate around in a comp like this. Who's going to pop the shields before we do the engage, so you know it's actually going to hit everybody up and be able to take that front line the way you want to.
Yeah, I definitely agree. They got to make sure that they don't overlap the CC in a way that makes it meaningless. They've got to make sure that they clear those shields, and especially have reach on the priority targets. The last fight, Twinkie had to go pretty far just to follow up on the knockup. Um, and that feels really bad when he has to sacrifice his life just to try and continue a fight to give his carries time to get in there.
There's a huge pick. This should be able to
Oh,
transfer.
yeah.
Oh wow, he. Okay.
Oh, nice.
Oh, he does have the QSS. Okay. I would have liked to just see me pop the blast cone and leave, like back out, right? Like.
Yeah.
Reset that.
This was
That should have been the.
pretty greedy.
Yeah. Now this is gonna be a. There goes the blast cone. He's gonna make her come from the back. He has no TP. Or no, TP is up, so. So reset. So Bane's now.
Well, and they're down one of their extremely critical engage tools. They just used the Ornalt to pick the Vayne, and that was a great play. But unless we can make this fight work with the numbers advantage they created, they've gotta make something work here.
But now the problem is we also sit at a point where that Vayne can come in and make a highlight reel, so they're gonna have to be really careful here and not overextend.
Oh. Looks like Senna walked. Oh, beautiful eat.
He scares me when he walks up just to hit a tongue, because she can just roll back. But we're gonna lose Dragon, so again, that fight went on for a very long time. We're looking at about a 4.5.
And despite the advantage that Matrix had in the early game, Malzahar is stabilized quite well. At this point, he's going to pretty effectively do his job at wave clearing and locking down whatever target they need locked down at any given moment.
And if we're honest, from a power perspective, they're even, right? Because Matrix had to stop off for that QSS, so...
Yep, classic QSS tax.
Yep, sitting on 2 completed items, while this might be the second completed item for Matrix now on this back. Oh, I thought he was backing.
I would say the biggest silver lining is that the Vayne has been so greedy with the side waves that the lost time has kind of put them in a bit of a pickle. But that won't be a saving grace that saves them for too long. Let's see.
And I'd also like to see him take advantage of the other thing on top of the now. So need to pressure this map about a permanent 4-5. And I'll ask you, Mars, I can't tell, is this really too far out? Is it need to back in a little bit for the stream?
I would say it looks pretty good. Maybe a tiny bit. But I would say, yeah, the clarity's pretty clean. Yeah, that's perfect. Absolutely perfect. Oh, Kale failed with the flash. And Lily is gonna do Lily a things.
I'm a few seconds in front of you, so I'll kill the delay for the next one.
I appreciate that. I've been doing my best to work with it.
Get this cleanly. We'll give up a bot power for it, right? Like, this shouldn't go down.
Well, and then let's be real. The point of the Vayne is to chew through the extremely large tank line that they've got, and if she's never there, she's never chewing through anything. So.
All right, I'll work on. Thanks for that. I'll work on the mic after this game. I'll have to. I just switched to a different headset than usual, so I'll go ahead and mess with the settings. I also need to move that chat bar because for whatever reason it still shows it there on the left side under everything, and I can't see it. Chat on my phone.
Due to the Orn items and the sheer scaling that Senna brings as a champion herself, the goalie doesn't mean as much as it looks like it does. And I think that in some of these fights we're seeing that play out. unless they're really executing with all their members and all the gold that they have, red team seems to have a pretty clear advantage, especially when Matrix is in the mix.
Yeah, this should turn the fight here, right? That's a good engage. That
Yes.
CC hit everybody, layered it up. Malzahar should go down. Vane's bottom side, so they should push this. Matrix just needs to be careful because he is out in advance. All right.
That flank was perfect by Twinkie. You couldn't ask for more. They lined up for him.
Yep, that was good. This might be a little bit of an overextension. They don't have the damage. They probably should take unnecessary damage. Yeah, I don't. It's a little bit of an overstay in my opinion, but.
Yeah, you've expended so many resources. There's no need to do this, especially when you have Matrix going to meet Vayne in the bottom lane already. Just take your win, go spend your gold, get some more pressure on the map. You have a dragon coming up that you're really wanting to start contesting. You're not gonna want to let them get to soul point with nothing of consequence happening.
Right, and we gotta fight over this, right? This is soul. It's an infernal soul. You don't want them to have this damage. So it'd be nice if we could stack 4 of these. That could be huge if the game goes that long, right? So, I mean, it does look like Leona finally reconnected back. So. Be able to clean this. Try to get to clean up that.
Yeah, I feel the focus should have definitely been on the Lilia. Claim that dragon.
No, KO really needs to just get out and reset, and these guys just need to try to buy time. Vayne's low, she's gonna have to step back anyway.
Yeah, you definitely want to just draw the battle lines, maybe try and clear out any vision, create any pockets of vision for yourself that you can, and give Twinkie some time to get back with that smite.
Now, Mundo is pressing top, TP is up, so could look to come join the fight if he wants to. Portal is up. There's just not really a good entry point to this.
Red team's turret has been
With Matrix
destroyed.
answering the Mundo, I would have much rather, I think, seen Mundo answer the Mundo.
Oh yeah,
It would be a
definitely.
Dragon fight, but
Send that Ornn up there, nullify that Mundo, and bring the pressure. That's what Matrix is bringing for his core right now. He is the pressure. He's alleviating the fact that Senna hasn't had the best game, and is still needing a little bit of time to really ramp up and get that damage out. All of the gold is in Matrix's hands, and I would be very surprised if we didn't see the very first Ornn item that can be handled out given to Matrix.
I agree. That fight actually went better than I thought it would, and they were able to secure it. Now they are pretty low here, so they need to back this out. But
Yeah, they definitely need to, like we were just talking about, take their win and spend their gold.
unfortunate. Okay, Matrix able to kill the Mundo. That's where you just gotta let your ADC die, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. That was he has a habit of going a little too ham for his friends sometimes, and that is showing through right there. That was an extra death that did not need to be in the column.
And especially from the presence of having waves pushing into your tower, we don't have a lot of good wave clear, and without Senna being there, that doesn't involve getting poked down. So really
Yeah, and
keep tie up
I-
and going.
I still can't help but feel like it's best to slap Akali in a side lane and put Ornn wherever Mundo is. And if Vayne wants the smoke, then let Matrix, do what he's got to do. But I feel like they're deathballing a little too much off of the concept that they have Ornn. And I get that they do have a very strong core of that Ornn, Senna, and Tom Kench. But I feel like they might be squandering the strength they have across the map.
And if you're not gonna use your side lanes, then don't prioritize grubs at the beginning of the game. I think it goes back to that conversation we were having earlier about how do you really utilize them. Just not getting any benefit out of them because they don't have those side lane pushers right now.
Exactly. And, you know, as much as we love to see Ornn down here maybe smacking the turret a little bit, that's not the most pivotal use of the grubs, especially when you're able to grab all 6 of them. Though getting an objective bounty at this point does feel very good. The gold lead grew a little bit, so it's gonna feel good to get whatever.
That's awesome. I was gonna say that's very stealable, especially with the Wukong on the other side. He's not huge fight. There we go.
That
Way to turn it around. That's exactly what we needed.
Beautiful. It was absolutely unacceptable that they didn't do their due diligence and keep that Wukong away from the back of the wall. That was.
Well,
I mean, they
had ultimate up, right? Try to throw a ball over the back, wait for him to come in, like, or just kill the damage. You know you're ahead from a power perspective, right? The gold was in their favor till that Baron died, and those kills. So pick that fight.
Exactly. You have an infinite amount of ways to stop this Wukong from getting into the pit. You have Lilia, you have Malzahar, and you have Leona. So I mean, good job, Avalanche. They capitalized and they are really pushing the advantage here.
And now get the inhibitor in back. Don't give me anxiety. I will say, yep. Now you walk it out. Reset. We have a dragon coming up in a minute and a half. That should be the next priority.
And I think what's most critical about what just happened is how much gold Senna just picked up.
Yep.
She just got a huge influx of gold. She even has a bounty at this point. And that just will exponentially help their actual team fight capabilities.
Agreed. So it went from being 4.5 gold down to being 3K gold up. So you know, that's a good turn of events with that Baron.
Talk about a Baron power play.
Yep. So now I think this is where we really need, like, Akali needs to go top here, I think. Go push that out. You have TP available. Oh, no, she does not have. He did use that TP in that last fight. So I guess you do have to kind of death ball down here because at this point, grab that soul or keep them off soul and keep pushing.
Yeah, I definitely feel that's the move. And like you were saying, if we can stack those Inferno Drakes, that is going to feel amazing.
Oh wow, Malzahar just popped. And Gain, I don't know if we can steal the Red Bull power play. I think we have to say City of Topeka Water Tower 01 power play.
But it's alright, that's almost just as good, alright?
Almost as good, I promise.
We're right there.
Last week we had to boil that water, so God knows what powers we got from drinking it, so.
Yeah, like I was saying, the Akali it feels so good at this point in time, and he's really just poised to go where he wants and do what he wants. I think as long as they keep it clean, this should be a fairly easy closeout. It seems that they've just skyrocketed the past 5 or so minutes.
Yeah, they put the team comp together. I think they're finally executing where they wanted to be. That poor Malzahar's not lifting the fight. 3 levels down to the Akali. Oh, that's huge. Oh. No, the stun. Okay, Tragedy did get that. This should be winnable now. Matrix is just now arriving to the fight, so this should be a wipe.
Oh yeah. Once the Akali shows up, the party really starts. Like we were talking about,
so that's huge.
And after that, there's nobody to chew through all of the beef on the Avalanche squad. It's too much at this point. It's exactly what they built for. They built for contingency, so that, you know, if anything did happen, they could always just play safe, fall back on the scaling.
So we've got 16 second fight. They're gonna be up here, so there will be a fight over this. No more Baron. Okay, I like the engage on the Bane. Oh, but no follow-up.
It's definitely a bit risky to try and carry this out.
Yeah.
But they're definitely kind of just throwing their newfound wallets at him a bit.
Yeah. What I would like to see there is Ty grab that top wave, because I think you're not making that fight anyway. He could have shoved that top wave all the way in and probably knocked that tower down.
Definitely agree. And with a little bit of further forethought, you know, I get sometimes you think you can chew through those towers, but the loss you're taking on the backhand, you're losing. You should be losing everything across the map. You should be losing vision. You should be losing jungle camps, any neutral monsters, and plus now they have people knocking on their front door.
Yeah, they should be able to recover from this all right. I don't think they lose more than the inhib here, but it's just smashing supers at that point. We have a Baron coming up in 45 seconds. It will be annoying for that, but at least it's not in the bot lane where that new wave of minions is coming from.
Yeah, they definitely don't want to be stretched that thin. Though the double teleport does alleviate that a bit. They didn't have to expend any of those in the previous engagement, so thankfully they do still have their map pressure to work with. Definitely want to see them exercise it. Malzahar isn't really a champion, and he's missing his teleport. And Vayne has been the one to answer the side lanes most of the time anyways. I would really like to, at this point, see them just exercise their map pressure.
Well, and I think you just go 1-3-1 here, right? You don't need to even fight for this Baron. You're in control right now. Let Akali and let Hunter and Matrix get that pressure established in those lanes. Knock top tower down. Let the fights happen with both TPs active and the TPs on the enemy team down. I think this is greedy here. You don't need to be fighting in river.
Yeah, and I understand
know why he walked back in. I think there's some love communication here on what's going down.
Yeah, I have to agree. Kale is definitely on the way out, and this just leaves Senna out to dry.
Matrix
now, thankfully,
it doesn't matter, I guess.
Yeah, that's a big wallet.
Really scary.
The execution and positioning on that one was pretty rough to see. They kind of just stumbled in and let some stuff happen to him.
Are they gonna be able to kill him? I don't want to kill this. Kale doesn't have cleaver. Spear, Ravish, I guess it's enough. You can go grab this inhibitor here.
Yeah, definitely equalize the pressure that they're going to have.
Not again, I think just line it up. Put Ty and Xerxes and Kale in mid lane. Now at this point we got Dragon we gotta think about. Kale's gonna really need to back. So this kind of greeding on this red buff for.
Yeah, that was a bit of a nail biter with the minions.
Yeah, and now he's
pushing it a bit with the red buff, especially if he's gonna use smite for it.
He did the smite, but he's really low for this dragon fight. He did heal up some off the camps. I think at this point you go up and clear your grubs. I guess there were fruit there, so that's okay.
Yeah, that definitely works. And
oh my, that was
I guess having a battle ward isn't the worst sort of situation. Oh, the Leona. Yeah, that was a good catch.
Now they do have them split. Now would be the time to either start this up and just burn it down, or to look for the engage, because Malzahar was off by himself.
Exactly, and like we were just talking about, Malzahar is so weak at this point that he's going to easily break if they push on that side.
That's huge. Really, it goes down this fight, it's just a different thing. Vayne can get locked up here. Yeah, here comes Matrix from the backside. Vayne's different.
Matrix has been excellent this game at finding access to the backline.
Yep.
It's been excellent to see. He's really put on an Akali masterclass.
And Xerxes gave his life to keep Ty alive, and I think that's the right call, because Ty is going to be able to throw this window down with him. So now you push waves out, reset.
Honestly,
can they end it? I don't think they can. I don't like
no.
this again. We're gonna see the same thing happen that happened about 5-6 minutes ago, right?
And the most crucial part is that Matrix is there, and that is what's really holding them together while the tank line continues to beef up and Senna starts to really do Senna
We doubted
things.
it. They might be able to end this now. Those towers are disappearing. So yeah. Just auto the Nexus, auto the Nexus, Ty. Auto the Nexus, Ty.
Oh man, here we go. It's a nail biter.
Yeah, I think if Ty just stays on the Nexus, that's over.
Yeah, that's a bit unfortunate. He got a little tunnel visioned on the kill, I do believe.
Yep.
Yeah, it should be no problem for Vayne to mop this up now. Yeah, that was pretty close. They definitely could have, I feel, wrapped that one up. But I also understand the tense situation. It definitely gets your heart racing. And
Oh my, we're deciding
Oh,
to
this-
go in the game.
this is
Vayne's still there though. They need to wait till Vayne shows. Like I don't like this. They're gonna have to kill Vayne. Okay, I guess they kill Vayne.
yeah, she's not the strongest. Oh, unless she is.
Yep, she has.
Oh no. Yeah, they were a little desynchronized on the engage on her. I don't see.
Matrix is up soon enough to save this. But that was really... They just went too early. If they would have waited about 5 or 10 more seconds and looked at the map and it was out, I think they end the game there.
I have to agree. I think it was just a little bit of the hearts are racing type situation.
Yep, I like the call. I like the call a lot. I think just needed
It definitely
to cook a little bit longer.
Yeah, it definitely shows that they've got guts on the situation, that they're not afraid to make the call to try and end the game. And we definitely love to see that, because you can't really, practice that into a player. They have to have that go button in them.
Now, the nice thing here is at least the super minion waves in top, so you're still able to jockey over this Baron pretty easily. You've held off Elder, so even if you decide to give up this next dragon in a minute and a half, like, it's not the end of the game.
Yeah, and blue teams really can't afford to give it. If they find themselves in a situation where they...
Oh my!
Wow, that is just absurd
That's
damage.
crazy damage.
Man. Better nerf Akali is what I gotta say.
Why is the TP happening? Not quite sure. But
yeah.
kill this here. Because the base is getting wrecked. They lose the tower here.
Yeah, he teleports to have to reset. And they don't even claim the tower off of it. That doesn't feel very good.
And they're gonna lose bottom tower.
And now they're in the same exposed position that the
Yep.
blue team is in as far as their Nexus is concerned. So definitely seems like that was a bit of a rushed call. But like
I'd
we
like to
said,
see them stay as free kill the Mundo and reset, so that way they can push the base out. No one's getting Baron. If all three of them are there, Mundo dies before he gets around that corner. Oh my, this is hero play out of Matrix, right? Like, you know he kills them. Like that part's a no.
Yeah.
Like dies here, but you've got to be really careful because that CC could knock him out.
yeah, the sleep plus the suppression is a bit much. And now Leon
That
has joined the
might
party.
be the...
I can't. Oh, yeah, that one was just
Well,
a bit
actually, Vayne's
rush.
down. Vayne should go down here. All right, they could probably clean this up now.
Okay, yeah.
I think
The,
this
the,
is. I
the
think this is
positioning from Vayne
now
and
Malzahar
the
needs
fact
to be
that Tail
stopped.
has kept him
Protect Ty
in
from
the
Malzahar.
same. Oh, and now you gotta.
Nice
Yeah, they
W.
definitely just
Huge
walk
W.
this one out to the best of their
Okay.
abilities.
Got it, got it. Competition's champion.
Man,
That Mundo's the problem.
wow. That is one beefy doctor.
Yeah, that's. But they're walking this out perfectly. Like that's.
Yes, they're
If I
kiting it
block
out
from
as well as
Ty,
they
like,
can.
that's huge, and they're gonna be able to. They're gonna be able to stay alive here.
At this point, Ty has definitely got to get rid of some item and get a Lord Doms. He's just not doing anything to this Mundo, and what they've been fighting for is for him to be able to carry. So
they just need to go in this game. Do we have TPs up on anybody? They just need to run straight down mid in the game.
Yeah, they definitely do.
You've got the raid boss down, Malzahar down. I think you can just go in this game.
Yeah, the jungle and bottom duo isn't a very scary concept from the blue side at this moment. So
Yep.
I think that they could have definitely just broken the backs of them. Though, like we were talking about, stacking the 4 Infernal Drakes is definitely going to help with that killing Mundo problem we were just talking about.
Yep. I wish we had inhib tibers. I don't remember when those went down. There is a world where you could just farm this out till you don't have to worry about that. Rush back, look for one more fight in the game.
Yeah, and
Gale gets caught out here.
oh yeah, the Lily is definitely hard to get away from, and that one's pretty rough. I don't.
We were
don't
talking
know
about
why we
Lord
didn't.
Dom's, or did you say IE? Gain was asking because he does rage blade. That's why he doesn't have IE, but I didn't see Lord Dom.
Yeah, no, I definitely think it should be Rageblade. Or not Rageblade, I'm sorry. Lord Doms.
The power that
just-
the Senna is coming through right now. Like
There
just
we
that
go.
rage.
It's the Infernal Soul. Nothing's really changed besides she got some healing reduction. And she didn't kill the Mundo anyways, but she blew through the rest of them.
Chunked
So that's
everybody else
very
out.
good to see. And that brings me back to one thing I was going to say is all these super minions flooding the base is just beautiful for Senna. It's so many souls. And at this point, we're nearing a 50-minute game. So she is going to really start abusing the abilities of that passive.
How many? We have 187 souls. So
Yeah, at this
that's
point,
living a good life right there.
yeah, she's smacking them from across the screen.
Oh no, do they not see Mundo in the base? Okay, Tom.
Oh,
Xerxes can eat him, I guess. Or well, he's gonna go straight to the Nexus.
yeah,
We're gonna
I
get
don't.
empowered backs here. I hope it's enough. Eat him, throw him in the tower.
That's probably the only move.
Okay, huge.
All right. There we go. Yep, throw him in the tower. Let the fountain handle him. Don't need a Lord Doms for that.
Honestly, just take it to your friend. Gale needs to be careful here. This is pretty ballsy.
Yeah, we're definitely at a point where all of the dragons, all the gold, all of it is at a point where it's coming down to just positioning and decision making. We've got to make sure that we're in the right spots and making the right choices, because that right there is probably the
That's
game.
game over.
Oh man, it's a heartbreaker.
That one's a hard one to lose.
It's a
That
heartbreaker.
That was a long
Oh,
time.
again, definitely the X9 on the Malzahar.
Blame that one on the coach. Alright, let me fix this mic real quick since it got brought up. Gain, does that make a difference on the mic? Is that too much? You hear me just fine? Alright. Alright. They're in champ select, so we'll... Oh, I'm trying to actually click on the... Look at the damage done by the Mundo. 55k.
Absolutely absurd. I mean, like,
That's crazy. You shouldn't be that tanky and do that. I mean, they were pretty even across the board on damage. Ty and Matrix did a lot there. But no, that was one that could have gone either way there at the end.
Yeah, when you get to that late in the game, it really just comes down to the plays you can make and the mistakes you can exploit.
Mm-hmm. And those are the worst games to lose too. That far in and you take the L. But
Well, I think one thing to keep in mind is that they held out from a pretty disparaged position for a very long time. And honestly, like if they would have been able to give Senna a little bit longer in that fight, she was already starting to chew through them by the time she was going down. So I think just a couple edits to how they did that, a couple plays taken away, and that could have gone either way.
well, I'd say I like the resiliency, right? They were down 3 Drakes, they got Soul. They got the Barons. So I think there was a lot of great things that happened in that game. It just got to the point you talked about. Once the mistakes made, you just don't have as much time to recover from those mistakes. And timers were just too long. So
yeah, those timers do get pretty fierce at that point in the game. I can't wait to see what they come back with, though. I'm sure that they are cooking.
I could see the salty run back, to be honest with you.
Especially from Matrix's position. He definitely tried to put everybody on his shoulders and pull everyone across the finish line that game.
Yeah, no, the Akali was really good there. I really like Ty on Senna. I think going into... I think in league play, I bet you get it once or twice, right, for both those players in a league as you're looking at it. I think in tournament play, you'll get some people who maybe... I think after the... When do the nerfs come in for double support items? That's a patch coming up, right?
Yeah, I do believe it's the next patch to come.
I think you could maybe see some people sleep on his pick of Senna then, just because you're not going to have that double support item. Hey, Kale, thanks for the 18 months, buddy. I appreciate it. But I think one thing that's hard, and part of the reason why I stepped away is I just don't have time or to work through a champion pool that's deep enough to survive pick and ban phase, right? And compete, at least in the jungle perspective. So I think it'll be important as we watch these practices and the scrims just to kind of see how the team grows and evolves through that gameplay. I think front to back team fight is something teams good at. It's just finding enough of those picks that you don't get banned out of a game, if that makes sense, any one lane.
Yeah, and I think that one of the things that is the most exciting about amateur play compared to professional play is that it's far less rigid. You know, these players get to play what they're comfortable on, and I would like to see more of that. I would like to see them really show us their roots if that is going to bring out the best in them. So I like I said, I'm excited to see what these guys bring out across these games. It is definitely exciting to watch.
Sam, that's a good call on Terminus. I forget about that item. Still remembering stuff as we get through the new items, and that could have been a really impactful pick there in that one. You're right.
Yeah, I definitely got to get some more studying in on the items. It's been a doozy of a patch.
I think what I've found out is I'm hard stuck Silver 2. Like, I don't leave Silver 2 and I don't go above it. Whatever it is, me and my Lee Sin are just hard stuck Silver 2. But I will say it's been nice to play around with the items. I really like Hubris and Opportunity. I like those items. They've been fun to play. And I think just from the standpoint of the game where it's at now, it's nice to not be stuck in a build path. Like, you can actually play around and try some things. There's obviously items that are just too good not to build, but I like it feeling more like the old league versus the metas we got when we had the mythic items.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree. You know, I think that they nailed the fact that champions have staple items. You know, they brought back Roa, and so many champions just screamed and cried in happiness. And I think that now opening up build path diversity even more really just lets players flex their game knowledge as well as accentuate their champion strengths depending upon the game. So it's definitely been fun and a bit overwhelming to work with all these new items, but I mean, you see what they did for Akali, so
Yeah, I can't remember. Storm Surge is getting a nerf as well, is it not?
it definitely needs it.
It
And even
needs
at
one
that
if it's
point,
not,
it
but I
will.
think it is. Um, but I think
You,
too, it's been nice to see kind of a resurgence of champions in general across lanes. Now, I will say I hate seeing Teemo come back with a passion. Like that's been a pretty much go-to ban. And Gain and I's climb through, well, me staying in silver and him climbing. Um, and I'm not the biggest fan of seeing Shaco run around with Malignance. That's not awesome. But it is nice to see other champions. Like, we've seen more Singes. Udyr coming back, but I think he still needs nerfed. Like, that's kind of sick what he can do in top lane.
yeah,
But
the
the
deer is a
meta's
little
different than
broken.
what we've seen for a while, and it's been nice.
Yeah, it definitely was getting stale. I think that Mythics had kind of ran their course, and due to that, they had kind of developed uh, a meta in of itself. Um,
Minions
at
have
a certain
spawned.
point, like Quick Blades was disgustingly strong, so you had to play, Zaya or something like that, and
Yeah.
it's beautiful to see more champions actually be played. You have 160, 170 champions. You really want to see more of them get flexed.
Yeah, Sam, I agree. Corky's back with a passion. I think that's another one that if you want to sit and scale up, I'd be curious to see if Matrix picks that as a champion in his pool, because I think even with some of the other item changes, um, I think it's still a good pick. And it just plays well in competitive. You build those 3 items and it sits in a front to back team pretty well.
Yeah, they definitely enabled Corky to do Corky things. There's a reason why Riot tries to keep Corky so weak, and it's because when he's strong, he is just a nightmare, and it goes to show just how easily it can happen with him.
Now, I do like the change up in the draft here. I think Hunter still is giving you what you wanted out of the Ornn. You're able to rush up, but he's got the damage, which we were kind of lacking in those team fights, right? And then you have what I'll call that front wall of Swain, Poppy, and Kled. It's still tanky. You're not like super tank, but you're dealing damage and outputting the whole time while still providing that front line for Ty.
Yeah, I think that the comp here is a lot better suited. It's exactly what we were just talking about. Hunter is a player who likes to go in. He likes to do the damage. He likes to see his name pop up as slain an enemy. And then from the bot lane, I like seeing that the Senna came back, and I like seeing that there's a little bit more pressure with the Swain. I think that while losing some of the survivability, I think the pressure of the Swain will make this Vayne lane a lot harder. And I also really love to see Kale on the Poppy. I think that it provides a lot of the same sort of engage possibilities while giving him more time to be that wall in front, which I know he is very able to do.
Well, and the nice thing about Poppy, especially into this comp, right? You're gonna stop some of the Vayne dashes, the Lee Sin dash, the Aatrox dashes, right? Which are gonna be huge. But then you also have a get out of here button, right? That can just create that disengage if you need to, or if done right, give you maybe that pick you wanted. And as we walk through that little bit of that fight down there did not quite go as expected.
Yeah, we're bleeding losses across the map there. That one feels a little bad. That was a well-timed gank from the Lee Sin.
He's gonna try this. Q's up. He's gonna have to be really careful here. I like it. He should get this here. Okay. Perfect. That's huge. You get the shutdown gold, right? Or no, that's just 300.
Yeah.
She didn't have a shutdown yet.
Even still, just kind of pumping the brakes on that Vayne, not letting her get a little too out of hand, because the way that lane started doesn't feel too good. Because once Vayne has lifesteal, as long as the positioning is okay, it'll be a bit harder to really exercise the punishment you had
right.
access to.
Yeah, and Gain, what I was referencing was more if teams, if that was still the meta going in, I could see that being a ban more consistently, just when you look at the players played, maybe not necessarily how they built it. Unless the teams are really going that deep in their OPGG reviews. I was thinking more just when you look at Tom and Senna together, you're going to assume abusing double support item and just ban one of those out.
And I mean, The stats back it up. I mean, the sheer gold generation is pretty bonkers, especially for a champion like Senna who doesn't really care about farming, and Tom Kinch is going to get as tanky as he's going to get anyways, so...
Yeah. And I think Tom is even really strong just on his own right now. Makes me sad I'm not playing top side, because I would just be spamming the catfish, but...
you were definitely a catfish abuser.
I like old Tom better, if I'm being truthful. I think old Tom was fine, but I still like him in his current format.
Man, the Lee's pressure is really, really putting a damper on what they're trying to do here this game.
But that's one thing I think that's hard is we play like in that solo queue mindset. When you have perfect communication, there are some times where you should not have your lanes pushed and you should give, right, and not look to fight because of the team setup and what you're wanting to do. Because like even though Kale got the kill on Vayne, he wasted time off of a path, right? And sure, we still get grubs, but like when your jungle's having to come places they shouldn't be, you lose some priority across the map, right? There's always that opportunity cost. So it's just getting used to, hey, I need to chill out here. I don't have to win this by myself. I have teammates who aren't going to just slash FF, right? And talk through it and give up a little bit, knowing that your teammates have your back.
Exactly. And while he should definitely be towards that side of the map, I don't think that leaving Kled on an island is a great idea per se. But you definitely know that Matrix has the capability of just popping off and carrying you the game.
Right.
And we also know that if we can get this Senna off the ground, that we have a railgun. So
oh my,
he should
really going in here. Okay.
Between...
Should get double kill here. And this is one game too where fighting for grubs makes sense to me. That's very nice. We like to see that on Ty. I think Grub's prioritization here is huge because Kled can be in a side lane and just monster towers, right? So that should be part of the comms as you're starting the game is play safe bottom. Like, I don't want to be there, right? Like, let me clear and let me focus on top so we can get these 6 Grubs and then just let Hunter have his way with his Aatrox, right? It's already, like, look at the CS difference, right? Like, Hunter could just continue to have his way up there, but play around appropriately so that the jungle can prioritize where needed.
I 100% agree. One of the luxuries of playing a Senna lane in almost any capacity is that it should be able to be completely stable. Mm-hmm. And as long as Matrix plays safe, you're right. They have 100% priority to be able to push towards that. And at any given point, Matrix can kind of just decide to pull the trigger on that Victor. And while he might not get the kill, as long as he makes sure he chunks and gets out, that's pretty much guaranteed prio for the next set of grubs.
Agreed. And we took grubs pretty much on cooldown, right? So we've got... No, grubs were 5 minutes. He just took them. So 5 minutes and 41 seconds. Is that right? No, that's Rift timer. Is there not a grub timer on... It might be hidden under that map. I don't know. We don't have grub timer. I guess they may not have time to respawn because of the Rift Herald timer, but...
Yeah, and I definitely feel that might be a little bit of a miss on their win conditions there, because like you were saying, Hunter is definitely pretty strong on this this guy already. So I hate to see it.
I just can't remember when he took the grubs though to actually start the respawn timer for them. So.
Another thing we'd love to see is that despite the pressure that Lee Sin has been committing to the mid lane, the Victor's still pretty far behind in CS. It won't make the largest difference because Victor will eventually just clear the wave and do AoE damage.
Yep.
But holding down that hyper carry definitely feels good.
Yeah, and I was going to say, honestly, even with the early pressure, the gold lead's the same, right? Like, we're farming better than the enemy team in all the lanes. And we're still right in it, so this is going to be interesting here to see he can get out of
most
this.
crucially, the gold that they have that is keeping them equal with blue team is all in the wrong spots. While it's nice to have a Lee Sin with some extra strength in the early game, you'd never really want to see your Morgana with 2 kills when you have a Vayne on your team.
Right.
And even the Lee Sin kills, one of those definitely should have been in the pockets of the Victor. That just accelerates his passive even further, which can really just kind of alleviate the early game issues he feels.
Well, and for me, having been on the Lee Sin, like when I look at Avalanche's team, I'm trying to figure out how do I actually get to Tai, because that's the priority target, right? Like, how do you kick Tai out of the group so that your team can kill the Senna? And I think it's just going to be really hard with the comp that Avalanche has. And I didn't look to see... So he went the Conqueror build, so we should see more of a Sundering Sky Black Cleaver out of the Lee Sin. I've really been liking the lethality, but this game, that's just not where you're going to be at. I don't think you get to Tai to pop him. You're going to have to be able to bruise through some of these fights.
Yeah, and unless you plan on really, really driving home the mid lane camp, the lethality just won't really pay off for you. I have to agree. I really don't like to see the bot lane committing to any sort of fights. You know, just really give up that pressure, let Senna collect her souls, and let your team do the work they have to do to become the pieces that they need.
Well, and one thing too that I think just even as from having played all those years of support is I still fail to use my abilities sometimes to check those brushes. That's what happened. Morgana sat in that brush and went by. And while they didn't have wards, you could throw us in a W in there. You could throw this Swain W in there just to check that vision before you push up. There's just little things like that that I think is hard to, like, I forget. I know I should do it, and it's easy for me to sit here and say that now. But in the moment, I forget to do. And I think those are the little things that make those differences in games. And if you check that, you don't die there. You're still ahead, and that Vayne's not 3-3, like 3-2 now. It's still the 1-3 Vayne. So
another silver lining is that this Vayne is very greedy. There was absolutely no reason for her to stay there and give that shutdown to Matrix.
Nice knockout. Good flash by Hunter.
Yeah, I do feel until Hunter locks down that first item and really grabs himself the ability to scrap it out, and maybe even the heal cut for the Aatrox.
Well, he has Grievous in his kit, remember that. As long as he hits the Bear Trap, he has Grievous built in. So the trades need to occur around the Bear Trap landing, and I think they go in his favor. Oh, okay, this is okay. Oh no, Kill tank that as long as he could, I guess. Yeah, they needed to. That dismount was unfavorable position.
Yeah, that one was just a bit rough. Like we were talking about just a moment ago, I feel like until he has that first item and actually has a little bit more AD behind those spells, it's not gonna feel too good, and definitely not when you got a turret behind your back.
That was really clean by Matrix right there. I'm surprised the Morgana was really patient, which was great. I just, that was amazing flash by Matrix to get out of that one.
He really navigated that quite well. Never really gave Morgana an opportunity to land a clear straight line W or Q.
Oh my, that was an unfortunate one. Can he E him into the wall here, or he E, didn't he?
Yeah, he sure did.
Oh
yeah, that one definitely feels bad.
Oh, nice dodge there. That's as good. Nice. That's all you can ask for. That was a huge dodge on that Morgana Q to take out the Aatrox, or take out the Lee.
Twinkie with the outplay there. That was pretty clean by him. We love to see it. He really just flexed the knowledge that you can interrupt the Lee Sin Q on the way in. And they always forget about the surprising amount of damage that Poppy does with the full passive auto and double Q proc.
She's another one that for as tanky as she gets, it's so annoying how much damage she can do.
Oh yeah, she's definitely one of the definitions of battle tank. And Gain, I have to agree with that. That was definitely deserved for DM.
Okay, dodges the Q, but now this is going to be problematic, yeah.
Yeah, it's feeling pretty rough at this point. But with how the game played out with the second batch of grubs going to the red team, it's not the most consequential. He just needs to start playing a bit safer. I'd like to see maybe a Titanic Hydra, something to really help him with that wave clear. Clear those waves, just isolate and nullify the Aatrox as much as possible. If he can just stay in the side lane and keep the Aatrox there, then he is doing his team a great service.
Now he's on the path to Black Cleaver, right? That still builds out of Phage and Kindle Gem and that longsword. So that's where he's headed from a build path first item, it looks like.
Yeah, that definitely does seem to be the case, and I don't know if I wholly agree with that, because his whole idea is that he's going to be by himself, and sure the armor shred will feel pretty good for himself, but you're not really helping anybody else on your team with that armor shred.
Right. Nice ultimate by the Morgana.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that was just I a bit greedy of positioning in the wave.
Okay, Ty gets that one.
All right, yes.
That was
Matrix
needed.
Has been very on point with these teleports. Really corralled him in there. Gave him no choice but to run back into Ty. And at this point, we would love to see some more gold in Ty's hands. We want to see this Senna start taking off a bit earlier than last game.
Nicely done by Lee Sin.
Yeah, definitely caught him lacking. You know, the wave's in a pretty sticky spot. You don't want to be caught there, you know.
Now, they just need to recover. They scale so well compared to the enemy team. Like, they just need to, again, farm this up, let the Senna do the work once we get into the 25-30 minute mark. So
definitely so. They just need to
there's just so many fights. So many fights early for no reason. Trax Daddy, thanks for the 9-month Prime resub.
And that's definitely what this Lee Sin was hoping for. He's definitely wanting that early scrap to play around that Aatrox, get him going, play around the early strength of that Morgana, and really try and get a snowball going. Because if not, this game does get real hard fairly soon. But they've done a fairly good job at keeping the scaling aspects down. That was beautiful. We love to see them punish in the game.
Yeah, this Lee Sin, that was nicely done there, but I think should just die here. He's really greeting.
Yeah, I honestly,
Oh, this is our problem, though. This is our problem. We are over-committing again. Lee Sin gets a kill there for no reason. Do we have an ult? The Swain ult is up. Okay.
Yeah. And with all the strongest members, that feels a little scary, but it looks like with Matrix, they're going to be able to at least keep it a somewhat even fight.
Yeah, Aatrox, in those close quarters, the Aatrox knockups are just so hard to dodge.
Yeah, and the Sundered Sky just feels so good when you happen to get it overlapped with Aatrox's passive auto. It feels very good. Chunks very hard.
Yep. But they were in this exact same position last game, and they rallied around it, and they came back. So it's still a winnable game. Again, just like the go button seemed pressed a little aggressively there. I think you walk that out, let everybody reset, knowing Dragon's up. You got a Baron coming up here pretty soon, right? Like, being alive's important.
Yeah, just for the pressure, you know, like top lane starting to push in, and that's a lot of golden experience that Hunter could definitely use. Not that he's super far behind the Aatrox, but he did just tick a level behind. And you really just want to be exercising the power that Kled brings. You have that ultimate for a reason, and as you get up in levels, it gets to pretty long range.
Yep.
The unfortunate thing about the side waves this time is that Victor is very good at just ignoring whoever is in his face and clearing that wave. So unless Matrix can be able to match the Aatrox, it's going to feel a little bit rough. But the Aatrox is very strong right now.
Yeah, it's and this here, like, really aggressive in my part, knowing he has the ult. Wow! Okay. Whew! I did not think it would go that way, so Matrix is the man. No fear
Aatrox
in his eyes.
Just disrespected him. After you take those 2 tower shots, you need to walk away.
Right.
He has the completed Storm Surge. He has 2 needlessly large rods. He has a lot of AOP. It's still an Akali. He has execute damage. It's how it works, you know? Like, you can't heal if you're dead. So, he definitely disrespected Matrix and got punished for it. And that's definitely something that they needed.
Now, we got to briefly see Baron slide through the river, but the first time I saw that, it actually freaked me out. I was like, what the hell ability is this? When Baron slithers through that river to arrive. Have you seen that yet?
Yes, it definitely gave me the Vex Shadow vibes, you know? It's really cool, you know. I like to see how far Riot's coming with the design elements of the game. You know, it's so easy to have this game look real simple, and not put so much effort into it.
Nope, never mind, Morgana doesn't die.
But year after year, they continue to make improvements to at least improve the quality of the game, and we like to see that.
I really love the map changes this season. Like, the game's actually fun again. Like, it's nice. It's nice to not have the same thing we've had for the last couple of years. So
yeah, like we were talking about earlier, it feels bad because not only was the item diversity and champion diversity really poor, we had very little changes to anything as far as gameplay map wise. You know, all we really had was dragons, and that wasn't a very core change to how the game was played at the time anyways. So it's definitely been very fun to see the shakeup that all the changes have brought. It's been crazy.
I do like having the grubs and a reason to be topside early, so it's not quite so island-like. I think it's nice to have objectives to fight over both sides that matter, depending on the comp, right? You have a choice to make going into the game, and how you're drafting is like, how do we want this game to go? And you kind of have an idea of how you should play the first 5 minutes of the game, and it's nice.
Exactly. I agree with that, and that's definitely, that was the intended purpose, and you love to see it actually be actualized. Because that was what they tried to do with Riptailed, was to give an important reason for strong top side.
Huge poppy play right there.
Oh, that was beautiful. Oh my god, yes. Kale has just knocked that fight out of the park.
I was going to say, that saved the fight. Like, that saved this entire fight, because now Matrix should be able to go in here. Oh, that Vayne's crazy, though.
Yep, and we're letting the Senna just pump out the damage. We love to see it. Vayne did make a pretty clean play there. Oh, the turnaround was pretty rough on that one.
Yeah.
They definitely should have just pumped the brakes there and pulled it back.
Is he going to get out of this? That should be an EQ. Yep. There's just so much damage out of Victor at this point.
Oh, yeah. He's just got to sit there. He's got to scale. He's got all of his passives. He is feeling good. One of the things about Victor is that he's a control mage unless he's fed, and then he is an assassin burst mage. You know, you can't really allow him to get ahead, and you definitely want to try and put him behind. So it's definitely going to be a bit rough to work around the control that Victor brings.
I would be curious, with all the fighting we're liking to do early, is maybe change the comp up and just go all in on the early fight, right? Like, slap I don't know. The Akali is a good pick. I like it. You're going to be out there and killing early. I guess I like Hunter's pick, but what do we do differently from the bot lane, right? The Senna needs that time to scale. And if we're wanting to really the fight, we need somebody that's going to have a little more power in that first 10 to 15 minutes.
See, and I feel
to take
this
over
was
the lane.
just a bad fight to take.
Yeah.
They were already so poised on the dragon. You're really just throwing your lives away there. It feels like this one's just slipping further and further out of hand here.
We'll see what happens here and how the red team decides to play this.
They definitely have all the ball is in their court. At this point, Vayne is at 3.5 items. She's feeling very strong. Victor's at 2.5. They're gonna have to really buckle down and try and clear these waves. Firstly, let's see Matrix. Good old Victor.
Yeah. And that's where it's hard too, because Xerxes hasn't been able to really get super tanky on the Swain yet. Really, the only additional... Well, no, Leandry's gives you health, not mana now. I mean, you do have the extra health there, but we're not talking a ton of extra health, right?
Yeah, he's definitely not in a position he wants to be, especially as the farming member of the lane. You know, you're wanting to feel a little bit better in your position. And it definitely stems back to the fact that they weren't able to play stable in that bot lane. They definitely needed to pump the brakes a little bit and do their best to really just play as passively as possible. That's what Senna kind of demands until she's got a couple stacks of her passive.
Right.
Especially when you have a player like Matrix who's so willing to teleport down there to make plays around his bot lane. You know, wait till you're in a good spot to
How
really
did Hunter
enable
live
this
right
player.
there? Can we talk about that?
Wow. No shot. Man. Gotta love the Kled gaming. But yeah, I have to agree. I do believe that they were kind of splitting their direction a little bit as far as their team identity. You know, you have this top core where, you know, Poppy can kind of split the difference, where she can play that bodyguard role, or she can also play that seek out and kind of find the fight role. But then you have this Swain Senna that's not really able to participate in what the top side of the map's wanting to do so much.
Well, and the other thing we've got right now too is some itemization gaps against that Victor. There's like Poppy went pretty hard armor, right? So Kale's got, you know, Sunfire, plus we've got our, you know, I can't think of the Breadable Vest item right now, but I wonder if he should have gone Hollowed Radiance instead. If he was gonna go into Thornmail, I wonder if Hollow Radiance, you're still getting that damage from the bombies, but you have a little more protection from like the Victor.
Yeah, I have to agree, and I get why he feels that way, because three of the main threats you're worrying about are AD, but the Victor at this point is who's going to be really mowing through these fights.
Right.
Vayne is always going to have to play tentatively. She's going to have to be careful. But Victor can just let the laser fly, and he's gonna
Oh
do
my.
massive amounts of damage.
Chael wasn't messing around with that one. He was waiting and just flashed that
Wow.
Q. Woo!
Yeah.
They're like,
he got some DM earlier, and he decided
he
to
was
give
not
it right
feeling
back.
Yeah. So,
Alrighty, Kale decided to put the carry pants on himself. He decided to make the play happen.
now are they able to clean this up here? It's a lot of damage even just from the minions, right? So,
Yeah, it's definitely going to be rough, even if they are able to fight their way out of this one. And it looks like the minions might even just finish it off while they're in the fight.
I appreciate that flash out of you, sir. That was a man's flash right over that. All right. Maybe we'll get. Okay, Gain, I can actually see your chat messages now. Yeah, I agree. I think Lucian Panther would be good to see. Kind of that aggressive fight. We'll see if we're gonna get one more. Okay, we are gonna get one more game out of him. So.
Oh boy, we are in for a treat. Let's go. like we were talking about last game, I definitely want to see a bit more cohesive team identity this game. Um, in the first game, I mentioned that Kale is typically really good at putting together very cohesive comps with plenty of contingency and fail safes. Um, but it seems like this time they went a little askew with the comfort aspect. Um,
I
and
think
I
it
feel
was
like
good to challenge it, but I think it wasn't that different from what I think they're normally doing. It's just they didn't play them at the right pace. Does that make sense? Like, I think the draft itself was fine, but the number of fights picked put it behind, so there was always the need to field to try to catch up, and there were just some things that were forced in them. All right, so
yeah,
like
I definitely agree.
because I think we will have to find a way this season to work away from a Senna lane, right? So what does that look like for us? How do we kind of build that comfort level away from Senna lane, and what else works well in there? And then what's the AD pairings with that? And I think one thing I do like about Xerxes is he brings AP carries to the game, and Yone is another champion Matrix likes to play, right? Which fits well into having that AP come out of the bottom lane. So it would be nice to maybe see a Yone game versus the Akali, and let maybe I think we've seen Ziggs down there on the bot lane, which is huge, and you love to have with the grubs, right? Which still allows you to prioritize top lane, and you really shouldn't have to babysit a Ziggs lane. Be curious if they kind of go that route this game.
Well, see, and I feel like that would have fit their team identity a whole lot
Mm-hmm.
more last game had they had that Yone and maybe the Ziggs in the bottom lane
Yep.
instead. Really, enable the scrappiness that the Kled and the Poppy can enable. So
Agreed.
I can't wait to see what they bring out in this next game. It's going to be interesting for sure.
Because you can still run the Senna Ziggs combo, right? Which is really nasty. And between W's from Senna and the satchels from Ziggs, you still have a lot of protection in lane. So I think that could be a good pairing that just really opens up the game, and you just wave clear so well, right? Especially with an Akali, you're kind of stuck if you get pushed into your base. Wave clear can be kind of tough. So just having that Ziggs as that backup wave clear, or as we talked about, Yone would be nice in that situation as well. And so I'd be curious to see where they go to. But there's definitely a lot left in the champion pools to pick from. Oh, we're in game now. Hey, Chloe, what's going on? Another thing that could be interesting, and it'll really depend too on the jungler they're able to find, is if you could go with like an Elise or a Rek'Sai or someone super early game, and then run Jace in one of the lanes, right? And I think, if you could put that top side, and then you have, I'll kind of call it the AP poke from the mid lane, and really just have that siege comp, or you could even maybe, I don't know like how you build around that, but really just take that early game away and just push them in under their towers and give them no relief.
I do really like the idea of giving a Hunter Jace. He's very good at the champion. And I think as far as the identity that they were looking for, it would have helped a whole lot and could potentially help this game. Especially because Jace can kind of slot into so many different types of comps. I mean, he can still play with a Senna comp and it'll work just fine. Because at the end of the day, Jace can be the pressure guy or he can be the poke guy.
Right.
And I think that would be a great option for Hunter.
You could also look at pulling the Sejuani out of the jungle and running Yone and Jace with the Ziggs as the AP carry. And Sejuani has two members that can then trigger her passive, right, in those fights. But you don't give up the ranged aspect out of the top, right? And I think that could work, and you still have a front line to protect them while letting that peel maybe come from the Senna and Ziggs, or pair the support as maybe the other tanky member. That could be some benefit from a jungle pick as well.
Yeah, I definitely like that idea. Especially giving Kale just a flat out go button.
Mm-hmm.
He can press that R. He can decide. He's got a very good brain for the game. So I think that giving him some agency to actually pull the trigger and start something on the spot would be perfect.
Yeah, and I think the nice thing about Sejuani is the clear is so easy no matter what, and like the items are nice now for you. Um,
Yeah, and Sejuani is just a different kind of tanky, you know.
mhm.
2 items on Sejuani feels different than almost any other champion besides maybe Mundo. And we already witnessed that one.
Yeah, Gain brings up a good point in chat too. Hunter plays Jax. Jax would be another good pick. Really strong right now into a lot of matchups. And can be that side lane carry that again likes to wear grubs, right? And I love Gain because he likes to wear grubs, and therefore I get to just play around topside when we play together. And I think it's kind of
Oh,
nice to
well,
have
there
that.
you go. You got exactly what you asked for, Gain.
Hey, we do have that coming through. Huh. Now, they got what I was kind of talking about, right? They paired the Jace and the Sejuani together on the other side. Not really much of a front line, but we will not be lacking for damage this game. Let's put it that
No,
way.
definitely not. And we were kind of talking about team identity, and the blue team doesn't really have a cohesive bot lane with what they're working with. They're kind of just like, if we get ahead, great. We'll hope we don't lose. While the Corki and Jace are hoping to put down a whole lot of poke. I get he wanted to just play a comfortable tank jungler. Maybe it was a steal. But the Sejuani doesn't have a whole lot of synergy for her passive. So that's going to be a little bit rough. It's definitely going to be interesting to see how this Jace Jax lane goes. It can definitely be pretty spicy because Jace is going to definitely look to lay down that pressure and keep the Jax suppressed as much as possible.
I think
That's about how the lane plays out. Jace will go in, and right when the E procs, he will knock him away, so no counter damage, and it feels pretty hard for the Jax. So he's really hoping to just scale through this.
And I think that's what's important here, and I hope they talked about and went to the game, is their lanes are really just survive, right? Don't fight. We want to scale. Jinx does not want to fight Draven early. The Lulu, you know, she can pacify and make that a tough fight. But I think what I love about our comp is the Renata can really turn that damage around for us, right? So sure, let Draven continue to scale up, but when the fight comes, we'll ult him, he'll kill his own team, right? And I think it's just important here that we don't fight early, we let ourselves scale, and we don't take ourselves out of the game by giving away too many early kills.
Oh, very nice. That's what we like to. Oh, man, that was so close.
It
We'd love to
was.
see the
Oh, no.
the killer edge on him though.
Oh my goodness, that was so close. Oh.
Oh, we hate to see
I
it.
want that one back for him.
Oh yeah, that's definitely give me one more chance. One more chance, coach.
Right.
That one feels bad. One thing that can be a potential avenue for the Avalanches this game is that a Akali into Corki does not feel very good for the Corki. The W is not a very
Wow, Matrix
good
is the man.
that close.
Oh my goodness, he's him today.
Oh, okay, yeah. He put on his Timothy pants.
He did. I was kind of wondering what Kale was doing, and I'm like, well, he has ADC hands, so this might be all right. And it got really close.
Kale's credit, he did the damage there. He did a lot. And honestly, if the Sejuani hadn't have been so good at body blocking those shotgun shots, the Corki would have died much sooner. So it's definitely nice to see that Kale has definitely got his hands on today.
Yeah, no, that was huge. He was able to maneuver that fight really well. And you know what? I like to see us out of bot lane. Yeah, they're pushed in, but CS is even. They're doing what they need to do, and Jinx just wants items. And then you want to get excited.
Draven doesn't get a huge cash in.
Right.
There will never be parity between the two of them. At one item, Draven will be very strong, and as long as Jinx waits until 2 items, they will be doing just fine as far as the ADC strength goes. So as long as they play safe, they are in a prime position.
That was tragic.
Oh, that was, very sad. Oh, that we hate to see it.
And I think if Kale is smart, you just ignore bot lane this game, right?
Yeah, they definitely had to have had a talk at some point during the in between time of the games that bot lane just needs to be the island this game. They need to be the island that absorbs the pressure and
Okay, that was a
allows them
flash.
to.
Okay, we like to see it.
All
Now I should be
right.
able to run this down. This is Xerxes should be able to get this. Oh
All
no!
right.
W will secure it. Nope. Directed cam tells us differently.
Very
Oh.
sad. We hate that we couldn't finish out the second one. We would have loved to kill those stacks on Draven early.
Right.
That E just misses from Matrix. It would have been a kill for sure, and that would have felt great.
If you're Avalanche, you're happy with what just happened, right? You were sitting
yeah,
on
you
a
were.
coal, and you just got a kill. Like
You are feeling over the moon right now.
Right.
All they
my.
really have to do is continue what they were doing. Play safe, let them push you in, and farm your waves.
Wow, that was lucky for Hunter W to not come back up off that Sejuani. That would have been a... Yep, there it is. That could have been the kill there.
That could have been really rough. I get the idea there. He wanted to break the freeze that Jace had going on, but you got to be careful.
Yep.
The Sejuani has shown that she's very good around being around her teammates if she needs to be. You got to be careful, especially when it's such a volatile lane. Jace has already got 2 kills. You don't want to let that guy get too far ahead.
Nice thing is we do pick up an early dragon, so different attack perspective from previous games. I think I'm good with it. Jax would really like to have those grubs, right? But you can pick up the next 3. I think take what you're given.
Yeah, I definitely don't think I have too big a problem with the grubs going by the wayside this game. Because you have a Jinx, you're not really going to be exerting too much pressure with that pair of champions. And Jace is going to have his hands full, or Jax is going to have his hands full with this Jace pretty much all game. At least until 3 items or so when Jax starts doing Jax things.
There's the cash in we didn't want to see happen, but
yeah, it's definitely a bit over aggressive without knowing where the Sejuani was. And this is exactly what I was talking about. At a certain point, it just gets really easy for the Akali to outmaneuver the Corki. He just doesn't have enough movement to actually get away from her unless he is playing so passively that he is losing farm. And you can see that he already kind of was.
well, he's 19 CS down, so that's...
Yeah, he's definitely not feeling too good. And it's definitely a good thing to have that guy put down. You definitely don't want to see a 3 or 4 item Corki staring at you across from the Dragon Pit.
Wow, that was a huge flash from Kale. I really thought Draven would get him there.
Oh yeah, that was very good. We definitely don't want to give this Draven any more than he's
He
already
might be able to
gotten.
get one more here. You hope not. Okay, he's greedy. Oh, but he still gets it. Did he get a He wouldn't have much to cash in. He already cashed. So.
No, not much to cash in. And honestly, in that sort of scenario, it's okay. You know, I won't call it good. You definitely don't want to lose more time where your Jinx is losing another wave. That wave is already under the turret. But at least, you know, she got the gold as well. She's got boots. She's got the Noon Quiver. He has got the completed Ghost Blade, though. So this Draven is going to be hitting very, very hard for a good minute of time. But I do like to see that Hunter hasn't given up much more in the past couple of minutes. He's done his best to stabilize.
Oh,
It still looks pretty rough, but
that turret almost.
honestly, yeah, I
Jesus,
think
Fred.
with that counter strike up, I think he should have just went back in and stunned him. You know, even the 1-for-1 at this point, that's a shutdown. That's definitely worth it for you.
Oh my, he's gonna do it. Oh wow, he is just feeling it today.
Oh man,
He knew.
yeah. Like
He
I
knew.
said, that the Corki just really doesn't feel good in the Akali. And the fact that Matrix got Akali 3 games in a row feels, I mean, blatantly disrespectful.
Honestly, when I don't play with Gain, I ban Akali. Or I ban Shaco. But, you know, when I know I'm playing toward top side and we want to make sure we have favorable matchups, we've been banning Teemo and Jax or Teemo and Tryndamere. and abusing Trundle, but I just feel like Akali is too good right now with Storm Surge. You should be banning that champion if you're a mid laner.
Oh yeah, and it feels very good for me to be an Akali player. Just recently with Kale got the plat pretty much off of Akali's back. She's a very strong champion right now. We love to see that Jinx was able to at least grab one in this situation.
She got two, actually.
Oh, we love to see it. The minion takes out the Lulu.
Yep.
We do love that. As it really, like I was saying, sucks that she's not getting as much farm and experience as she would love to be getting. But at least she's got some gold income, and she's not just catching axes.
Right. Oh my.
Oh, that was a little bit.
I think that was just
much.
Coach telling Matrix, "Hey, bud, your lane's too easy. Let me help out a little bit." And
yeah.
helping his laning opponent out just a little bit to make Matrix's day a little tougher.
I do imagine he was hoping that Matrix would be there a bit sooner,
Yeah,
but
I think that was a
bit much there. You don't really need to force it, you know. Corki's not going to be a champion for a long time at this point. I would much rather see you start coordinating this really strong Akali and this Graves toward the bot lane.
Oh my. Oh, that's unfortunate.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to want that one back. I think he stepped backwards instead of auto-attacking, and he would have been out of there.
Yeah, he definitely feels bad about that one. And it's an echo chamber just a bit. I have to say the Corki's not really worth it, you know. You're doing just fine. He's already having to play so pacified that he's not even farming as well as he should be. So
right.
Start looking elsewhere. Start looking to help this Jinx out, give her some pressure, give her some breathing room. Start looking to help this Jax out, give him some breathing room. We love to see the dragon take though. They are stacking the dragons, and that'll definitely feel good. Because come a late game scenario, they definitely don't want to be 5v5ing these guys if they can help it.
Be curious to see what happens here. That Jinx Rocket comes in deep. I don't know that. Yeah, he's pretty strong. I don't know that KL really wants that.
Yeah, that seems a bit presumptuous.
Oh my, the Renata W coming through huge there to keep Matrix alive as he kills the Draven.
We love to see it, and that's a huge shutdown.
Yeah, that's a monster shutdown.
And see, the plus side about this game versus the last game is that there's not 3 or 4 members that Matrix is going to have a hard time battling out with. He has 4 people that he can just assassinate. So Matrix having these 6 kills feels amazing.
Yeah, no one's safe.
The fact that he could alleviate some of that pressure for Jinx, like we were just talking about, feels even better.
I mean, he's telling them, hide your Jace, hide your Corki. I'm out here killing everybody, right? Like he's.
Yeah, he has no chill about it either. He sees Corki, he is coming for that airplane.
He just sees red, right, and goes.
See, at this point though, these small kills on Corki, give it to the Graves. You know, get some more gold in his pocket, make him as effective as possible. You know, I don't think that the 150 from the Corki is gonna be hurting Matrix's pockets too much.
And the nice thing here is if Xerxes could complete this Cole before this tower goes down, that would be nice. And I think we're at the point too that really Matrix needs to go bottom lane and let Xerxes and Ty have mid, so they can start to make it to these fights.
Yeah, they're definitely going to need a new bastion of safety, as well as you're exactly right. They need to be able to rotate to whatever fight breaks out as quickly as possible. Especially with such a polarizing ultimate such as Renata's, you definitely want her to be there. You want to get this Draven auto attacking his teammates.
And this was the fight we wanted, right? That was huge.
Yeah,
3. And bot lane cleans up. So great stuff across the board. Oh, but the Cole was 5 short before he died. That's tragic.
That does feel so bad. But at this point, we've kind of stopped that Draven snowball. He's got a lot of kills. He's at that 2-item mark, but he hasn't been on the field long enough to actually get any more stacks. All right, Gain. Thank you for that. But nevertheless, it's great to see that the bot lane has some fight in him.
Yep.
And the more that that this Draven gets stunted, the better. The longer that Jinx has to equalize the playing field, the better the Avalanche shot is.
I really like this bait here. That was nice. He's not gonna be able to kick him away. Oh, there was the kick, but he's able to jump back in. Nice kill.
We definitely love that. That's a hide on bush moment. We love to see it from Kale.
Do. I also like the changes to the jungle camps because as a jungler now, you're not just losing golden experience as the game goes on because your laners will actually leave your stuff alone because they know they're getting it. Right? Like
yeah, that definitely feels
it's
good.
huge because you can still get what you want from there. So.
Well, and as a mid laner, like it feels good to have a blue buff or have a red buff, you know, but it feels bad knowing that you are directly taking from your tank or from one of your carries.
Right.
So I think it was definitely just a quality of life change that they really needed to implement.
And again, I like how they staggered it because it's like with the other things, right? It ramps up. You don't just instantly get this power, right? The game goes along. And, you know, you share with one person and then Baron shows up and it's like, all right, now we'll show it to everybody. And it puts more priority on clearing the enemy camps as well, I feel. And I found that I get more teammate assistance when you're, or at least a hover when you're trying to clear that camp because they know it's worth it to them to hang around so that everybody gets it and you're denying the other team that buff as well, so.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you have to look at Riot, like, why not, you know? It definitely should have been implemented long ago. They see how much it impacts the game, as well as how much people are willing to fight for them. So it feels great.
And then he should be able to. Oh no, he's gonna back off here. You'd like that little trade.
Yeah, we definitely need some more farm in this Jax. He's limping right now. You'd definitely like to see him be a little bit stronger. And whoa, without the structure, this Draven really just got to run through the team.
Right.
Oh man, that one feels bad. They would definitely like to roll that one back.
Wow, that W came in at a clutch time from a tie on Kale there.
Yeah, I gotta say, the Renata has been a saving grace for this game. I think that this Renata is still one of the most powerful champions in the game right now. That ultimate can turn this Draven into their biggest asset. So
right.
You hope that they actually get a chance to lay that ultimate down on them.
I will say though, one thing to take away too is our positioning around vision, right? Like, kind of a little far up with no vision on that inside jungle, right? And knowing that, ooh,
that was close. Oh man, that feels bad.
Yeah, that's a feels bad moment there.
Yeah, you definitely want to have a more clear identity of what you're doing with your vision, you know, because if you have vision for the sake of having vision, then it's not really doing a whole lot for you. It needs to have a purpose. So you're wanting to move these wards around. You're wanting them to provide you with real-time information as often as possible. So I would definitely like to see a little bit more wording across the board.
Oh my, Draven just nuked that the Lulu.
Yeah, that's
what we love to see.
What we want to see. Exactly. And even still, just the ultimate +1 auto almost took the Jinx out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one definitely feels bad. We love to get that one back, though.
Well, and I think it's something, just as we were talking about warding before the fights broke out, with the new entry points into those different lanes, you have to consider more paths that you have to cover now, and your ward placement matters, I feel, a little bit more. Because folks can slide around those wards in ways they couldn't before. So lazy warding will definitely punish you as you get later into the game.
Definitely so, and I feel with this kind of team comp with a Jackson Akali who you really want in the side lanes, with a Graves who isn't really going to be providing the most for your Jinx and your Renata as far as protection. You definitely want to make sure that you have concise vision, as you were talking about. You want to make sure that you know where they are and why they're there.
Well, because like even just real quick, these wards, like this ward where my mouse is on the screen, if it was just slid down a little bit to cover that other entrance, you're still gaining everything, but they could still like walk up, and there's some points where there's not complete vision into all those entrances, and you could just slide that ward just a few pixels over and have better coverage.
Exactly, but that's as simple as a quick VOD review. You know, you just gotta look at some nice word placements. The map changes are still real new, and these players aren't pros. They're not paid to do this 12, 16, 14 hours a day. You know, so they'll get it down, and I can say with that with confidence.
Yep. Nope. 100% agree. And I think the other thing too that just comes with more games is communicating about who's placing what wards where. Even just having that as a talking point, right? So that way you're not either over warding an area, or you know that it's your responsibility to take care of that area as the game goes along. It's little things like that that'll cut as you learn how you're going to fight front to back. As we're talking about, there's a lot to learn in a season with 5 guys. So you got to kind of pick where it's at, and I think those are things that'll just come with time, and the communication will be better around where they want those wards placed. Great fight there.
Yeah, we love to see it. The Draven almost got the kill on Hunter there with the E, but just enough health coming back to him to stay alive.
I do like the flash of the Corki there.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah.
Oh, nice work by Hunter there. That counter strike was huge. Nice sidestep.
Oh yeah, beautiful.
I need to back off here. Okay, Kale picks up a good kill. Should be able to slap this Corki. Corki can jump one more time, but... Beautiful work. And we got a dragon in 20 seconds, so that's big with Corki being down. You don't have to worry about rockets coming over the backside at you. Should be an easy dragon take for us.
Yeah, that was definitely a bad fight to take on their part. They do still have to be cautious. A lot of that gold is still in that Draven's hands. Corki has done pretty well to come back into the game, but that Draven is going to still do massive amounts of damage. So as long as they can play around that carefully, Renata's ultimate is just about off cooldown. This should be a pretty easy secure on the dragon here.
That was a little scarier than I thought it would be, but we do get it.
Ooh, oh no. Yep, there goes. Yep, the Draven ult does a ton of damage. The execute on it is a little bit excessive sometimes.
Oh no, the Corki package, huge there.
Oh,
that's
yeah,
tragic.
That's
the Renata ult might save it. Oh, the ultimate from Lulu coming through in the clutch there.
Oh man, yep. Perfect timing, knocked him right out of the connect on the E.
That was a perfect E too.
Definitely.
Kale almost has ult. He can pick one of these off. Oh my. Tell me Draven dies. Okay. That might keep him in the game. Jay still does damage, but if Draven was up as well.
Yeah, you've only got a couple seconds left on the Jinx and the Renata, so it should definitely be savable. But they're gonna definitely want to kind of buckle down the hatches and really try and turtle this one out until Jinx can start carrying. it seems like they have a bit more tools this game to handle Matrix when he dives in.
Mm-hmm.
The Draven damage is just a little otherworldly at the moment.
But again, though, I feel like this is one of those games where the 1-3-1 is where we should be at, because team fights do favor enemy team. We're not really utilizing the split pushing power of Jax, right? Like, let him get in the side lane and push. I think they just need to calm down and realize, hey, we can give something up. Let's establish ourselves in this mid to late game, and really lock into what we drafted, so we're not just running around and picking random fights.
100% agree. You know, they have a 2 Drake lead. They have time to spare to give this Jinx time to ramp up and at least complete that 3rd item. After that, things will start feeling a little bit better for the Jinx. I would have liked to have seen Ghost on Jinx. I get the heal feels really good for the Draven. The Draven lane.
I don't like just giving this, though. I feel like they could have put a little pressure on this, but...
yeah, especially even just a Graves art over the wall, you know. Any old try is okay. And then they...
Now that's huge. Matrix was able to kill the Lulu right off the rip.
Alright, yeah, that is very nice to see.
And Jinx is just now coming to the fight. Huge. Gets excited.
Draven.
Oh my.
Beautiful. We love to see it. Alright. As far as the way that whoa, with that quirky damage. Jesus.
Huh? I didn't realize Corki built Spear of Shojin. That makes sense, though, I guess.
Yeah, at this point, Corki is doing Corki things. They held him down for a while, but the completion of the Manamune plus the Shojin and the Malignants, he's doing pretty bonkers damage at this point. So
just need to clear these minions up. We've not lost anything from the Baron yet, so I'd like to see us keep it that way. Oh, huge. There we go. So now Baron's gone off all members. And I think at this point, too, you can just give the dragon. You don't care. Just give the dragon.
Yeah, definitely. Give the
Farm,
dragon.
Get the gold. Don't fight over this dragon. Just let it go. You got supers pushing in. Jinx can get gold. You can share. Like, just smile and nod. It's another cloud for them. Big deal.
Well, and at this point, Jax has the 2 items. He's not going to just beat out the Jace or even the Corki in a side lane at this point, but he's at least somewhat competent in pushing in a side lane. And if they decide to ignore him, he will tear through a tower. So they at least have that going for them in that sense. And, you know, same old song and dance, but Matrix is still very strong. So if he can get the space to work, he can make some stuff happen this game.
And I don't like it. We didn't really need to be there, right? Now this is going to be collapse. Matrix and Hunter are going to have to do some work here.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty rough to pull this one back. Yeah, it's looking pretty rough. Yeah, we didn't have everybody there.
Well, and like you and I just discussed, there's no reason to be there. There's no reason to be there. That dragon can go over and no one cares. No one cares.
Exactly. The movement speed, who cares? It doesn't make a whole lot of sense that that's the nail in the coffin there. Especially considering, as we were just talking about, they still had so many available options. They still had plenty of chances left in this game had they not taken that one.
I do like the change up though. I like the comp that they presented. I think it was a good call. I'd like to see that again. I think it just comes down to there's a few calls there with some fights that were a little tougher than we should have taken, but
yeah, I definitely like seeing the Graves. I like the agency it brings. I like the damage it brings. You saw at numerous points in times his idea, what he was really going for. He was wanting to put the damage down. He was wanting to put some extra pressure down. So it was good games all around. We like to see it.
But no, Who's 4Klo? Is that our boy Matrix? I don't know whose Twitch name that is. Griefed all game 3. I don't know who that one is. Um, Alright. No, I thought it's one of those things. I thought you guys did good. There were some fights picked that didn't need it, but Akali is really strong. I like the fact that you got her all 3 games. And I think did well there. Which just as we were talking about that last fight around Dragon was tough because it didn't need to occur at all. But I think overall there's some good stuff to take away from the games. I like the drafts. I like the comps. I think it's just smoothing out communication around team fights. But thank you to everyone who came out. Please keep watching. You're going to see us be more active now. We've got a team from, I think it's Plat Emerald Elo is what the other team is right now, that will be starting and kicking off their season. We'll be streaming all their games. And so that's going on. Avalanche is getting ramped up, so we'll have them, and that's gold to plat elo is what we're aiming for. And then if any of you are watching and you know any diamond to emerald players or grandmaster that want to play, we've got a couple diamond folks looking for some teammates, so we could try to get out to 4 teams. And then I think Pack has us a team running kind of silver to bronze elo. So really getting the OSG family spread out across the different elo, and we'll be streaming all the games that we can so everybody can get that screen time. So appreciate everybody coming out tonight. Thank you for the subs. Mars, thanks for hanging out with me while we watched the games. It was fun.
Heck yeah. Thanks for the chance to cast. It was fun. Like Nova said, if anybody has any friends that play the game, aren't interested about playing in a more coordinated environment, just let them know that, we're just a big family here. We have fun. So it was great to be here. It was great to watch the games with everybody. And it was great to see some good games.
All right. Well, thanks, everybody. And watch for us on Wednesday. Team Sub-Zero is scrimming, and we will be streaming that scrim. So look to see you guys on Wednesday. Thanks, Mars. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, buddy. Later, guys.